benefits lie. And while those numbers can scare people, from our experience in, say, southern Tanzania, where you remove economic incentives, we were having the lion killing, for example, was 50 to 100 times higher than would have been permitted in a trophy hunting area. So trophy hunting is just one aspect. We have to think about the big picture together and the risks that come, particularly with trophy hunting bans, if you don't actually put a better wildlife-based land use in. And so, for example, in South Africa, there are about 18 million large mammals that are conserved through trophy hunting areas. And that's something that we have to put these figures into perspective and think about it from my perspective as the conservation outcome.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you. These are completely different figures, of course, and this is a completely different perspective. We shouldn't just look at the numbers of killed animals as such or per se. Germany, okay, let's go to Botswana, to Siyoka Simasiku. In Germany, there's a very emotional discussion about browsing damage in the forest, deer, for example, creating a lot of damage in our forests. And this is why people say more game should be killed. Is this an aspect for Africa? What's the role of hunting in Africa?
Basically, in Africa, the role is more on sustainable measures and at the same time incentivizing the communities that are living with wildlife within those areas. If I give you an example for Botswana, about 283,000 people, which actually have 45 community-based organizations, depend on trophy hunting for their sustainability or for their day-to-day income or revenues. So in 2014, as you know, Botswana basically imposed a blanket ban just to actually see the species that were actually depleted by then. So the government just put a blanket ban and said, no, there's no hunting until 2019, when the hunting ban was lifted. But during this period, a lot of communities who were basically depending on hunting, some of them closed. There was no revenue within those communities. So basically hunting here in Africa is very important, because we don't just go out and start hunting. There is methods that are used. The government would actually put out a quota for communities after a thorough survey to actually basically see where the number of animals. And this is just done within the areas that are outside protected areas. That should actually be noted, that hunting is not happening in protected areas. It's happening outside protected areas, in areas where communities are living, where communities are doing their agricultural practices. So this is, what is happening. So the revenue that is actually taken from hunting, it's 100% utilized by communities. It's not basically, taken by government for their use. It's 100% utilized by communities. The community decide what to do with the income that comes from hunting. Thank you.